I'll call the personnel committee to order. Is there any discussion items that anyone wants to talk about for personnel committee? You have an add-on, I think that because we've tried to discuss it several times and we've never gotten to it, so it's at the end of your packet. All right, so first resolution authorizing the chairman of the board to execute an agreement with Davis Vision. This, I need a sponsor. Bill, I need a second. Tom? This is one of the remaining, this is the second to the last remaining contract that the trust is transferring back over to the county. It's exactly the same. There's no loss in benefits. All right, is there any questions on it?
Move it.
Move it. Okay. Number 3, resolution adopting Montgomery County health insurance policy regarding retirees' health insurance premium contributions. I need a sponsor. Todd? Greg? Rich, you want to just brief?
Mr. Chairman, right now we have retirees that are late paying their health insurance premiums. And we keep calling, asking for the payments. So some of it goes months at a time, some are 5 or 6 months at a time. So this resolution states that if you don't pay in 2 months, we're going to give you we're going to send them a memo, a letter. We have 15 extra days to put the payment in. If they don't pay, we're going to be canceled.
Okay, we have some out 9 months, just for example. Yeah. Okay. What's the pleasure of the committee?
Move it.
Got a resolution authorizing chairman to sign renewal agreement, labor relations services with Romer Wellens Gold and Minot. He's a sponsor. Butch is a second. Bill? Okay, the term would start January 1, 2013, ending December 31, 2015. 3 years. Yes, John.
Do we have a dollar amount on this?
Yeah, you have a
Yeah, right now,
You have
The
right
agreement's
now we pay
attached.
$3,600 a year, a month.
a month. Is that
It's
enough?
going to go 2013, it'll be $100 each year. 3,700 at 13, 3,800 at 14, and 3,900 at 2015.
It's on your page number 5 if you,
$100 increase each year.
3. Okay, are there any other questions? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Move it.
Move it? Okay,
I want to abstain.
one abstention.
For the sake of transparency, I negotiate contracts across the table with this firm quite often, and I just want to make that public. I don't receive any compensation from anybody, and just going to...
Okay, well, I'll take it. All right, resolution authorizing chairman to sign renewal agreement, employee physical examinations, Eastern Medical Support. Needs a sponsor. Brian? Tom? Is there any questions on this one at all? Yeah, Rich?
This one here, this 2013, 2015, there's no increase at all in the prices. In fact, on some of them, they dropped the price a couple of dollars. So there's no increase at all.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the committee? Move it. You got a resolution authorizing the chairman to sign agreement, EAP Employee Assistance Program with St. Mary's Hospital. Needs a sponsor. Greg, needs a second. Tom? I guess we all know what this is. Is there any questions? All All right, if not, what's the pleasure of the committee? Move it.
Abstain.
One abstention, Butch? Okay. Got a resolution authorizing the chairman to sign an agreement for time clock maintenance, MM Hayes. Needs a sponsor. Bill? Brian? Okay, is there any questions? Yeah.
How many clocks do we have?
How many do we have? It's the maintenance of the whole system.
It's a whole six.
Um,
I think it's 8.
yeah.
Six on here. 6? Says 6 on this.
2 this year, 2 in, yeah,
You got 9. 9 total.
6, 7, I think it's 8.
9.
9?
It says one of the 6 in this thing here. And you got 3 under here. Yeah, that's software.
But it's more than just the clocks.
Yeah, it is.
It's the whole system in the program.
That's going up $472.
Okay, is there any other questions? What's the pleasure of the committee? Move it. Okay, this last one is one that we've been working on, and it's come up, and I've held it back several times until we could come up with an agreement that was, and this is the last of the contracts from the trust back to the county. It needs a sponsor? Okay, Tom, it needs a second. Brian? The contract is with Matrix. It's our PBM, so it's our pharmacy, drug prescriptions. All right, and it's for a term. It's the balance of the term of the trust. So the trust, it was a 3-year contract with the trust. It's 2 years with the county, January 1 of 2013 to December 31, 2014. Is there any questions? If not, yes, go ahead, John.
I know that, excuse me, that there was some conversation earlier about Matrix seeking indemnification for some ongoing issues with the trust. Has that language been removed from this agreement?
Got all that language, tie-in, indemnification, and holding them harmless has been removed from this agreement. There's no tie. What there is with the trust, there's an agreement with the trust to indemnify Matrix in the event of litigation. And there's also another stipulation in the trust agreement that is subject to approval by both the county and the city, right? But that's not in the county's contract.
This is a standalone with
This is
Montgomery County.
this is standalone, just Montgomery County. There's a standalone that is just the city of Amsterdam.
Thank you.
Okay? Yeah, Jeff?
Now, as far as the fees and that, are they the same as the contract that was in place, or have they been reduced as there's some savings?
There are no commissions to be paid in this agreement. There's no embedded commissions for anyone since we're self-funded. So those have been removed from that. There was a clause in there originally.
So is there projected cost savings for that?
$40,000.
Thank you.
Okay.
Move it.
Is there any other, what's the pleasure of the committee? Move it? Move it? Okay. Anything else to come in front of the committee? If not, is there a motion to adjourn? Greg? Butch? All in favor? Aye.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah.
I just got it, so I saw it. I wasn't in the office much. The last thing I saw, the email said you couldn't open it. Yeah, but you obviously.
Cheryl, you know, the computer and open.
Oh, all right.
All right, well.
Indeed. All right, call the Finance Committee to order, please. Discussion, privilege of the committee chair. I just want to throw an explanation out there as far as the scheduling of budget workshops. Obviously, because of the loss of Shane Walters last week, we canceled everything. But in order to try to keep everything as legal as possible, I went ahead and scheduled some workshops, so at least they're on the books. We had something there. As it stands right now, I scheduled department heads to come in, but that was strictly my call as trying to set these budget workshops up. I know that the Finance Committee has already worked on a lot of this stuff. I personally don't know what you're going to glean from bringing the department heads in, because as we've seen in the past, they don't have any more to cut that they're willing to make personally. So if you're going to make cuts, anything like that, I think it's up to the Finance Committee and the Board of Supervisors to do that. So that being said, I'm seeking out from the Finance Committee on the scheduled meetings that I have for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, starting at 11 o'clock. Do you still want to hold those meetings? First of all, the budget workshops. Second of all, do you have a desire to bring the department heads in and continue to work through the process?
Can I, I'm not on.
Go ahead, Ron.
But as the vice chair, I'd just like to make a recommendation. Wouldn't we, this whole board, make up our minds in which direction we're going before we do the, and bring, I know we persecute these department heads all the time, we bring them in, and then we don't know which direction we're going in. I would think, John, seriously, that you should call the committee of the whole and get everybody's view of which direction they want to go with these, and then the ones, if there's any cutting anywhere, because if there's no cutting of any position in this budget, I don't see any department head wanting to come forward with anything.
Well, the problem that you have with that is that the Finance Committee is charged with making a recommendation to the full board by the 20th of the month, so.
Yeah, but I say you still have the time, you could do it, I mean, that's only a recommendation.
Okay. Tom?
Well, I mean, maybe you were just hitting on it, but we're charged with doing this, through county law. The Finance Committee's charged with giving its recommendation. The recommendation could be in the form of a resolution, in the form of a written report, it could be an oral report, it could be, I think that's what you're getting at, is we need to do something. Me personally, I know at one time I said I don't like to waste people's time, although I do kind of remember, I think when we did that year, some of the department heads felt left out because they still wanted to come in to give their, I don't have a problem with doing it. My only problem is the scheduling of this. I just can't do it at 11 o'clock on the 17th or the 18th. I couldn't, on the 19th. I don't want to not give them their, if they want to come before us. I just can't, and it's not out of disrespect to them. I just can't do it at 11 o'clock on the 17th and 18th.
Okay. Mike?
We received an initial budget from the department heads. We sat down, we made changes, we spent a lot of time. It went back, it's been changed, but we also have it on computer. Since what will probably happen in here yesterday, since I've witnessed this for years, always sitting in the audience, what's going to happen is when it goes to the full board, there's going to be all divergent opinions, and you're going to want the department heads in anyway. So by us bringing them in now, what are we going to really do? It's best for us to look at what we did and said, as a consensus, here's what we're recommending. And he's right, we could do it any number of ways. We've already done a lot of it. We sat there and we had it on the wall projecting. We came up with it. If we need to tweak it or fine tune it or whatever we have to do, that's what we should do. We're subject to we're the Finance Committee. We should do that. You already know what they said. You know what the department head said. They handed it to you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. What I am looking from is the finance committee. You said 17th and 18th, Tom, that you couldn't make it?
Not at 11 a.m.
17th is tomorrow. Could you make it in the afternoon?
Tomorrow, no. 18th. I don't want you to schedule this around me.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, is make schedules work, because tomorrow afternoon I could, Thursday afternoon I can't. I've got a MOSA meeting.
But we've
So
already got these advertised.
we have them advertised, but we can cancel them as
Yeah,
well.
you can
Cancel, but I don't know about changing the time on it.
Right.
You can change the time as long as it hasn't occurred. Put the notice out.
So who can make it tomorrow at 11 o'clock? Herb Allen? Mike Chiara?
This is for just the finance committee?
Tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
I'll try to be here, yeah.
Butch Grieco?
I probably could. I'll make some changes, but I could.
And Tom, we know you can't. Dominic Stagliano?
Yeah, I can.
Brian Sweet? Tomorrow at 11 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay,
Now, this is just the finance committee.
this is finance
Nobody,
committee.
no
Well,
department.
the other supervisors can come, obviously, if they want to. Now, the next question is, do you want to continue to bring the department heads in, or do you want to just sit down as the finance committee and try to hammer something out to present to the full board?
That's what I want to do.
Herb?
You know how they feel already.
Mike?
I agree.
Butch?
Yep.
Tom?
I agree.
Dominic?
I already have in hard copy where I think that I would cut. It's always better to understand what the other side, because I may have missed something. I may not be right, you know? And so why look foolish later on? I don't have a problem. I'm not sure that it will accomplish anything.
We still have till the 20th.
Huh?
We still have until the 20th.
Yeah, I'm not
One
sure
more.
I'm not sure that they're gonna say, okay, go ahead and I'll accept your cut. But the thing is, maybe I missed something. And the reason why I can't.
Brian?
Well, I tend to agree with Dominic to some extent, but as the finance committee, is that going to make no ill deeds when it gets to the full board? You know, you bring them in, you ask them a question, and the rest of the board says, sorry, I don't care what they say, we're going to just incorporate it anyway. But I agree with you. I think if you're gonna make a cut, you need to run it by the department head. Because, am I missing something here? Did I make a cut that's gonna devastate your department?
You all set, Brian?
Well, I think what we're talking about is that you can say, I'm gonna cut a position. Becomes argumentative whether that position can or can't be cut, all right? But the thing is, you can cut some concrete item that there's no possibility you could cut that. You should know that. You know what I mean? And I think the department has known me well enough that know that, I'll go at them straight on. So.
Tom?
Well, I don't want to misrepresent what I was saying earlier, and I agree with Dominic that we should have and listen to what they're saying before we make the cut, but am I misunderstanding something? I didn't think the finance committee was going to actually come up with a recommendation for a cut, or are they?
Well, the
I thought they
finance
were gonna give a
committee
report of-
the finance committee is charged with presenting something to the board, whether it comes in the fashion of a cut or the fashion of an increase.
I guess
That's
what I'm
something
saying
that
is-
has to be hammered out.
If the finance committee's mission is to actually think that they want to bring a recommendation in regards to cuts, I agree with Dominic. If they're not gonna do that, they're just gonna give an overview of, don't go over the tax cap, or go over the tax cap. I don't think that you need to bring them in for that, but at some point, they're gonna wanna have to come in, and I agree with Dominic to talk, so that we can listen to that other side. I'm just wondering if it should be done twice. Last time, it was like Noah's Ark. They come in, and then they come in again. And I thought that that wasn't as a good, you know, they come in, and then we had them come in through again a week later, or 2 weeks later. You know, if we think as a finance committee, we're actually gonna put a resolution up to make cuts together, then we'll just wait and do it at the, no?
Okay, I believe you all know that department heads well enough in this county that if you put something in there that's gonna affect their department, you're gonna hear from them. I don't think there's any danger of that. Butch?
Okay, it's going right along the same lines as Dominic and Tom. I think that the committee should get together, make the recommendations, where the cuts are, bring them in as needed. You may not, there may be some departments, I mean, you're not gonna cut. There are departments that are gonna get cut a little, talk to them, see what they say. It won't take that long. The major cuts, it's gonna be a while, unless you're not gonna do it. If you're gonna adopt the preliminary, if you're gonna do that, no sense us even meeting.
There you go. Herb?
That was about what I was going to say.
Okay. All right, then we'll meet here tomorrow, 11 o'clock,
Where are we meeting?
here,
Here.
in this room,
All right.
at 11 o'clock. And we'll see if we can hammer something out, and then, as need be, we'll call the department heads in.
Is it easier to do it after, just a suggestion, is it easier to do it like after lunch rather than going from 11 o'clock through? I mean, don't matter to me, you guys are working.
I'm trying to make sure we get enough hours into this thing to
Okay.
give everybody an opportunity to have their say if they need to have a say, and still do something in my garage and meet the other
Okay.
problems that I already have.
Okay.
Just trying to make it all work.
All right.
Anybody else? All right,
So this will be a regular finance committee meeting tomorrow morning.
workshop.
No, finance
Yeah.
meeting. We have to call it finance.
Okay. But we'll send an email out to the department heads, they do not need to.
Right, they don't need to be here.
Okay, I'm sure they already know. Getting on to the resolutions. First resolution is a resolution changing the title of position and amending the 2012 operating budget. We have a sponsor, we need a second. That's for the treasurer, by the way. Need a second. Tom Quackenbush. Discussion? Butch?
Why are we doing this before the budget?
Would you care to offer an opinion?
Explain that. With all the new reporting requirements, my understanding is we're having a new health insurance fund, the M fund coming through. I need some expertise in my office. I've lost 6 accountants in the last 10 years on my office, who have transferred to other departments for an upgraded title. With this continuing, I don't have continuity, I don't have the expertise in my office to handle the work. So that's why I'm asking at this time. I only think it's a fair request, seeing the request that you just approved for DSS. You did give them an upgrade. And like I said, my office handles the whole $90 million budget, not just a portion of it.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Wishes it, Tom?
What's the total effect here? What was it, 76.95? That's what it increases
The net effect this year is $555.
by. Right,
The net effect next year would be about $2,500.
2,500.
for the 13 one.
2,500.
2,500.
Anybody else? Wishes of committee?
Move
Move it. Opposed? Moved. Next up, we have a resolution awarding bid 6-12, sale of surplus vehicles and equipment purchasing. We have a sponsor, we need a second. Tom? Discussion? Supervisor Sheriff?
Yeah, I noticed on here that you sold some rifles and shotguns. Do we have, is there any type of reporting we have to do or anything like that?
They dismantle, no, they dismantle.
Yeah, they could take the clips off.
Well, I think they're not forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's-
Delivered parts.
Inoperable.
Okay, all right.
Anything else? Wishes of committee? Move it. Opposed? Next up is resolution authorizing county treasurer to disperse mortgage tax money. Treasurer. We have a sponsor, we need a second. Brian Sweet. Discussion? Move it. Opposed? Next up is resolution approving re-levy of delinquent school taxes, village taxes, water rents, and sewer taxes. Treasurer, we need have a sponsor, we need a second. Tom? Discussion? Wishes of committee? Move it. Opposed? Next up is a resolution authorizing the chairman to sign agreement, general liability, and other pertinent insurance coverage. Board of Supervisors, we have a sponsor, we need a second. Supervisor Grieco. Now, we do have some numbers that we can fill in here. Do you have that with you, Scott? The bids?
I have a copy, yeah. You have one there?
I don't have a copy of it, no.
The three blanks. You need a name,
The resolution's
number.
blank.
Yeah, you need a name, a number, and another name.
Would you like a spreadsheet?
Sure.
Numbers are kind of small.
Jiminy.
I don't have a copy either.
Okay, so from the looks of this,
Simon, do you have that cover sheet?
there were two that sent proposals in. 3 of the proposals are from the same company. You've got Mang gave 1 proposal, and Hazen Wormuth has option 1, 2, and 3. To be honest with you, there's a lot here. I think perhaps it would be proper if we leave this blank and fill it in at the full board meeting, and then all of the supervisors get a copy of this,